You spent months researching Japanese garden design. You bought the perfect plants, and your garden looked amazing for exactly 3 weeks. Sound familiar? You're probably making at least one of these 3 critical mistakes that are absolutely destroying your garden's seasonal beauty. And I'm about to show you exactly what they are and how to fix them. I'm Josh from Shizen Style, and after designing gardens and helping people work on their gardens for years, I see the same mistakes over and over again. The good news? They're completely fixable. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to create a garden that looks stunning in every season. Now, these aren't the obvious mistakes like using the wrong plants or ignoring your climate. These are subtle areas that even experienced gardeners make. The ones that turn what should be a 4-season masterpiece into a garden that peaks once and disappoints the rest of the year. Stick around, because after we cover these mistakes, I'll give you my simple 3-step framework to avoid them. Now, the 3 fixes we're going to cover are just the beginning of creating authentic 4-season Japanese garden beauty. The truth is, there are dozens of traditional techniques, plant selection strategies, and design principles that most gardeners never learn. And that's exactly why I've spent a good amount of time researching and writing a comprehensive guide. My new book, Seasonal Changes in Japanese Gardens, the Shizen Style Guide to 4-Season Beauty. It covers everything we talk about today, plus so much more. We're talking detailed plant directories organized by season, step-by-step guides for adapting Japanese principles to your specific climate, traditional maintenance techniques that enhance rather than destroy seasonal beauty, and the complete Shizen style philosophy that lets you create gardens that feel authentically Japanese while being perfectly suited to your unique space and conditions. This isn't just another garden book, it's a complete system for creating gardens that get more beautiful with every season. So let's get into the first mistake. Mistake number 1 is what I call the single season focus trap. And here's how it happens. You fall in love with cherry blossoms in spring, so you design your entire garden around that 2-week spectacle. Or you see photos of autumn Japanese maples and decide that's going to be your garden's signature moment. Sound reasonable? It's not, and here's why. Traditional Japanese garden masters never designed for just one season. They understood something that modern gardeners miss. A garden designed for one perfect moment will disappoint you 90% of the year. Look at this garden. Beautiful spring display with cherry trees, tulips, all blooming together. Gorgeous, right? But here's what it looks like in July, and in November, and January. See the problem? For 3 weeks in April, this garden is magazine worthy. For the 49 weeks of the year, it's basically green wallpaper with no seasonal character whatsoever. The fix is what Japanese garden masters call seasonal succession. Designing so that something beautiful is always happening. Just different beautiful things. Spring brings the cherry blossoms, but underneath we have summer emerging hostas that will create lush texture. Behind the cherries are autumn coloring maples, positioned to frame the view when the blossoms are gone. And see those evergreen pines? They'll provide winter structure and collect snow beautifully. The same space, same budget, but now this garden has 4 distinct personalities instead of one brief moment of glory. Here's how to fix this in your garden. Pick your favorite spot, maybe where you have your best spring display, and ask yourself, what's going to look good here in July, in October, in January? If the answer is nothing special, you've found your single season focus trap. The Japanese have a saying, the garden that lives for 1 season dies for 3. Don't let that be your garden. Mistake number 2 is going to sound completely backwards, but stick with me. Most gardeners space their plants too far apart. I know. Every gardening book tells you to give plants room to grow. Follow the spacing guidelines. Prevent overcrowding. But here's the thing. Traditional Japanese gardens deliberately break this rule. And there's a brilliant reason why. Western garden design treats each plant as an individual specimen that needs its own space. Japanese garden design treats plants as part of a seasonal community that works together. Look at this typical Western-style planting. Each plant has its proper spacing, room to grow, no competition. Looks organized, right? But here's what happens through the seasons. Spring comes and you see individual plants doing their thing. Summer arrives and you've got individual plants doing their things. No relationship, no seasonal story, no magic. Now look at this Japanese-inspired planting. Plants are closer together. Some are even touching. Looks crowded? Watch what happens through the seasons. These plants create seasonal relationships. The spring ephemerals emerge between the summer perennials. The autumn plants frame the summer plants as they fade. Winter reveals the underlying structure they all support together. This technique is called seasonal layering, and it's one of the most fundamental principles in Japanese garden design. Instead of giving each plant equal space, you create plant communities where early season performers are interplanted with late season performers. 4 different seasonal performers sharing the same square footage, creating something beautiful in every season instead of taking turns being the only show in town. To fix this in your garden, stop thinking about plants as individuals and start thinking about them as seasonal communities. Group early bloomers with late emergers. Plant autumn color trees near spring flowering shrubs. Layer plants with different peak seasons in the same space. Yes, it feels crowded at first, but after a full year, you'll understand why Japanese garden masters have used this technique for centuries. Your garden won't just have seasonal interest, it'll tell a continuous seasonal story. Mistake number 3 is probably happening in your garden right now, and it's costing you some of the most beautiful seasonal moments your garden has to offer. I call it the cleanup compulsion, and it's the reason most gardens miss their most poignant seasonal beauty. Here's what happens. Autumn arrives, leaves start falling, seed heads develop. Plants begin their natural dormancy process, and we immediately reach for the rake and pruning shears. We clean up the fallen leaves, cut back the spent perennials, remove the messy seed heads, and mulch everything to look tidy. I mean, it's a big selling point for a lot of landscape companies. You've got that autumn cleanup. But here's what we just destroyed. Those fallen maple leaves weren't mess. They were natural confetti, creating seasonal carpet patterns. Those dried hydrangea heads weren't dead flowers. They were going to catch snow and create winter sculptures. Those ornamental grass seed heads weren't clutter. They were going to glow like fiber optics in winter light. We've been trained to think that autumn cleanup equals good gardening. In Japanese garden tradition, autumn cleanup equals destroying the garden's natural seasonal transitions. Yes, the Japanese gardens are very well manicured and kept clean, but this is different from the seasonal cleanup that we're talking about here. Traditional Japanese gardens celebrate what Westerners call mess. Fallen leaves are arranged to create natural patterns. Seed heads are left to provide winter interest. Plants are allowed to show their full seasonal life cycle, including the beautiful process of dormancy. Selective cleanup that preserves seasonal beauty while maintaining health and structure. Now, I'm not saying let your garden become a jungle. The Japanese approach is about selective restraint. Remove what detracts, preserve what enhances. Clear pathways, but let leaves accumulate in viewing areas. Cut back plants that truly look bad, but preserve those with interesting winter structure. The rule is simple. If a natural seasonal element adds beauty, work with it. If it detracts from beauty or creates health problems, then intervene. Your garden will reward you with 4 seasons of authentic beauty instead of 3 seasons of boring tidiness. Yes, it feels crowded at first, but after 1 full year, you'll understand why Japanese garden masters have used this technique for centuries. Your garden won't just have seasonal interest, it will tell a continuous seasonal story. Mistake number 3 is probably happening in your garden right now, and it's costing you some of the most beautiful seasonal moments that your garden can offer. Alright, now that you know the 3 mistakes, here's my simple framework to fix them and create true 4-season beauty. Step 1. Plan in seasons, not moments. Before you plant anything new or rearrange anything existing, map out what you want happening in each season. Not just what's blooming, but what's emerging. What's at peak, what's transitioning, and what's providing structure. If any season looks boring on your map, you've got work to do. Step 2. Think communities, not specimens. Group plants by seasonal relationships instead of by type or size. Ask yourself, what will emerge as this fades? What will provide autumn interest near this spring display? What will give winter structure to this summer area? Plant these seasonal partners close enough to interact, not far enough apart to ignore each other. Step 3. Preserve natural seasonal transitions. And before you clean up anything, ask, is this adding to the garden's seasonal story or detracting from it? Preserve elements that enhance the current season's beauty or set up the next season's display. Your garden will look more natural, more beautiful, and more interesting than any perfectly manicured space. If you found these 3 mistakes helpful, definitely hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable and helps other gardeners discover these concepts. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because I'm releasing new videos every week covering more seasonal design secrets that most gardeners never learn. I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 mistakes is happening in your garden right now? Remember, your garden doesn't have to be beautiful for just a few weeks each year. With the right approach, it can be stunning in every single season. These 3 fixes will get you started, and there's so much more waiting for you in the book. Until next time, keep creating gardens that celebrate every season's unique beauty.